I feel so much more on target now.
Oh, good.
After being tired.
Right.
So,
Well, you go home, don't you? You can't go home.
yeah, you can.
You can visit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think it's cool when I see something and I'm like, hey, that's cool, and I'll photograph a dumpster
Yeah.
that happens to have somebody that put a picture of Poe on the cover, and I'm like, that is so going to be cover of cc&d magazine.
Yeah.
This month, which was the September-October issue that was released yesterday. Yesterday,
I think I'm in that one.
yesterday, you may, because you gave me the yes or no, and if I've got room, I'll trust for to find space for host Tom Woodruff in here.
What did
I don't know what did happen. I'll say. I'll go quicker. And then I'll go quicker.
Great.
I want that. So sometimes you find cool things like that, and that was cc&d magazine. This actually has in it a couple of. I'm actually going to turn the volume off on that for you.
Okay.
Just because it seemed very noisy. And it sounds like, you know.
Keeps me awake.
It does it. It's very important to know that. Because you want to get your stuff at this great bookstore. This actually has a couple of Genesis poems in it, and it has 2 haikus in it. So I'm going to read haiku, and then read some of the Genesis poems, and then read another haiku, so that we start and end on happy little haikus.
Genesis.
You know, like Bible poems.
All right, Bob.
Because this is cc&d is technically called Children, Churches, and Daddies, so I thought that would seem fitting to put some interpretations of the Bible in this every once in a while. So I will start with, I will find you a haiku first.
Thank you.
I'm looking for 2
This
books.
one
Do you
is
know what
called,
have an inventory? Oh, okay.
I'm going to do Ends of the Earth. I would go to the ends of the earth to have you with me once again. My baby, my love, you are my life.
Is that a haiku?
It's a three-liner, but it's just nice and short. It's a little Instagram poem, which is why there's an Instagram image with it as
Fills
well.
up space.
It fills up space, yes. That's actually the reason why they fit there. He's learned that if I've got prose, I might as well. I may as well do all 3 of these poems. So we'll have Genesis 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 3 poems.
Okay.
This one's Genesis 1. Before the beginning, there was nothing. In the beginning, the abundance of everything was trapped into a microscopic speck of nothing and decided to become energy, expand, break free. But there lies the dilemma for the average Joe. Wait a minute, you say there was nothing. It's hard. Dilemma.
Dilemma.
Yeah, not dilemma. This is the dilemma for the average Joe. Good to know you. That's what this says here, the dilemma. This is the dilemma for the average Joe. Wait a minute. You say there was nothing. It's hard to imagine, but if there was no space, how does energy expand into nothingness? Ah, now you're starting to understand what all these great minds and saints have been trying to grasp. In the beginning, space was created by the expanding energy. And in the beginning, there was no form. In the vacuum of space, there was no matter. Only when the energy of hydrogen electrons passed through the Higgs field, the trace of their energy for matter, that's when the void and darkness was given form. Let there be light, and so it came to be, as particles energetically sped away from each other at faster and faster speeds than the human brain can imagine. And as time came to pass, this energy made stars. Let there be more light. Above all the orbiting rocks, let there be firmament, where celestial orbs scatter through the darkened skies, surrounding and circling these stars, as they all spin together to share their cosmic ride through the heavens, expanding farther, faster. As spinning and slows and temperatures subside, let orbiting ice form the sky in the sky shallow water on the celestial orbs. Let there be seas, separated by stone and rock we call dry land. And on this one place that we call earth, with seas separating land, bring forth grass, herb yielding seeds, fruit trees yielding fruit. Time was divided to day and night. Let it be so. A greater light ruled the day, a lesser light ruled the night, and we saw that it was good. Once on the earth, teeming with all the primordial ingredients for life, let there be life, created in the waters, brought forth abundantly, and every living creature will moveth across this land. And now nature could be fruitful and multiply, and so it was, where more was created in its image. As more and more grew, more and more learned how to live on this land, separated by seas to better suit the natural environment, to grow, to survive and thrive, to further multiply and be merry. And to the creatures of this blessed earth, they shall have dominion over what they can harness with every green herb for meat. And it was so. Behold, this thing that was made, it was very good. And after all the work and all that was made, rest and appreciate all this great creation, the planets, the rain that falls after humankind tills the soil, breathing into your nostrils the breath of life.
Genesis is so speciesist. It really is. So, like, have control and dominion over all the animals.
Well, it actually, and what is saying that you have dominion over them, and it said, but it also said to use herb for meat. Herb and plant for meat. That's what it says in Genesis. Not to slaughter animals for meat. Which was crazy then by Genesis 4. God was happy that they were killing animals, and so I don't get the juxtaposition. But I talk about that in Genesis 4. It is in this, and I will share that with you after sharing Genesis 2 and 3.
Okay, great. Thank you.
His father, oh, yes, sir.
One llama
Okay, great.
is a priest. Two llama is a beast.
Okay, I'm going out of town.
Whatever happened to a
Oh,
three
yeah.
llama?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Just inspired by equal.
It was the dilemma, not the dilemma.
That's right.
Just want to make it clear.
That's right.
It was the dilemma, not the
dilemma.
dilemma. Just so that you know. Oh, and speaking of,
Yes.
delving into the Holy Bible, this is Genesis 2 and 3. His father said it was made for him, and we shall be of one flesh. You would think that we would have to be perfect for each other, but when you're alone with only one man, your choices are limited. Now, we've lived on this beautiful land with beautiful gardens and beautiful food, and even though this was never explicitly said to me, I got the impression I shouldn't touch or eat from the tree of knowledge because I shouldn't understand good and evil. All I could think was, what a ludicrous thought. Who would be so demanding and foreboding to forbid us from knowing right from wrong? And no matter what the fruit looked so succulent, no matter that I wanted to learn or grow, why would you want the ones that you claim to love remain so utterly ignorant? If you know better, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is ignorance. So that...
Wow.
Hi.
This is wonderful. Hold on.
If you know better, I have your books. I'm in the middle of reading Genesis 2 and 3.
Wow.
Yes. It's in the current issue of cc&d as a poem.
Nice.
In the middle of the poem, here we go. If you know better, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is ignorance. So what is it suggesting to me that I should be godlike if only I tried this fruit? I thought I couldn't die from touching this knowledge, eating its fruit, or learning from it. So I did what I had to do, and anyone with drive or ambition or desire to learn would do the same. So in my desire to be wise, I ate this fruit and I saw that it was good. But I realized that maybe being the only wise one around here wouldn't be such a good idea. Maybe the only man I'd ever known could stand a little more knowledge too. I offered him the food. He knew the rules and decided to eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge anyway, even though his daddy said no. Now, you may think it's short-sighted or childish to have issues with father figures, but if you knew a man with this much pent-up rage, you may think differently.
Yeah.
It did not matter to this old man who would never just up and die that I was the mother of all living. I knew better. I knew I had to suffer under his wrath because he didn't believe a woman should be smart. In this little time I first spent with this one man, I missed out on the tree of life, but at least I got to learn a thing or two about how life really is, even though this ultimately means that we women will always fight an uphill battle, wondering if we can ever truly win.
Sexist, patriarchal, speciesist. That book wasn't even a good movie.
Ouch.
I saw the movie, Bible, several versions of it. Yeah.
That's the one time we don't.
Well, this one's an interesting take on Genesis 4, Cain and Abel and sin from killing.
What?
This is the Cain and Abel story.
Oh my God.
So you know Henry Rollins, right?
Oh, he's great.
He did a movie, I forgot what it's called, where he's a creature not quite like a vampire, but, and even though they don't really give it away, I think it hints at the fact that he's actually Cain,
Oh, right.
destined to walk the earth. And when you catch up with him at this point in the movie, he's all subdued. He's the complete, like, Henry Rollins himself is always pretty chill in person and everything, and interviews and everything, but his character is like this guy there's that kind of subdued to where you know you were kind of raw back in the day, so just chill out for the rest of the day. Yeah, it's worth it. If I can find the movie, I'm going to send it to y'all, but it's worth a look. It's cool. It's Henry Rollins.
Well, I hope you find this take on Genesis 4 interesting. We'll see how it goes. Two sons were born of a woman who lived in a land where their Lord told them that they had dominion over the creatures, but more importantly, that every green herb was meat, not animals, but greens. They saw that this was so, and they thought that this was good, as their first son tilled the ground to create great food. More quickly, to create great food, herbs, fruits, and vegetables. Knowing this was a peaceful way to provide a healthy sustenance to the family, the first son was pleased with his work. But the first son saw his younger brother tend to flocking sheep instead, then slaughter them as offerings. How unholy, the older brother thought. How barbarian and antithetical to the peaceful way we're supposed to be. The older brother knew he was on the morally higher ground, but when the Lord was pleased with the slaughter offering from his younger brother, the older brother was lost. What have I done wrong? The older brother thought. Have I not followed in the Lord's way? Have I not done what the Lord wanted? And did I not prosper by being peaceful? The older brother couldn't understand how slaughtering animals and extracting fat to give away was thought of as good. As the older brother's darkest fears swelled, he heard that the Lord say unto him, "If thou dost well, thou shalt not be accepted." Well, yes, if my Lord abided by his own rules, thought the oldest brother. This offhand question from the Lord that opposed morality flew the older brother into an internal rage because he had done well, and for this he gained no respect of the Lord for his deeds. And more importantly, to the older brother, the younger brother actually gained respect for explicitly being disrespectful. Where can morality lie when our Lord cannot be moral? The older brother wondered, contemplating what to do. Soon after, the younger brother came to the older brother as he worked in the fields, and an argument ensued about morality, and in a blind rage, the older brother killed the younger. What kind of killing is more of a sin, the older brother thought, but eventually the older brother heard the Lord ask him, "Where's your younger brother?" And the older brother responded he did not know. He was not his brother's keeper.
Ooh, I heard that one.
After this, the older brother wondered, shouldn't the Lord, if he's all-seeing and all-knowing, shouldn't he already know? Or is this just another test of my will? And how is my will tested when I am shunned for doing the right thing and my older brother is praised for sinning?
Yeah.
The older brother, understanding morality, could hear his younger brother speak to him from beyond the grave, and after the older brother truly acknowledged his sin, after burying his brother into the ground, no food from that ground, tasted and sweet, would grow from his land again, no matter how he tended his soil. As if the blood of his younger brother contaminated all the older brother tried to grow. And he wondered, if the world knew of the sin of the older brother committed, would they care of the sin of the younger? Do they not hear the cries of all that they have killed, or all that have been killed for them, for their death-filled meal? What lives are worth saving, the older brother thought as he then left that land and that would no longer grow for him. Although may have killed him for the act that he had done to his brother, the Lord understood the morality of the older son's choices and protected him. He protected him, and he protected him to live in a world that is now filled with people wanting to kill for food when they should not and do not need to. The world the older brother was born into was truly a cruel and uncaring world, and the older brother, after one immoral act, was stuck living in a world where slaughter was eaten at every meal, and violence like this was becoming the norm. And sadly enough, this is a world the oldest brother feared the most.
There you go, that's why she's vegetarian, right? Yeah. And the Lord says, none of that naughty stuff.
Unto thee, and I saw that it was good. Now I'm going to end on a happy note and give you a four-liner of a poem that is called Listen to Life.
Okay, I'm listening.
Life teaches you lessons if you learn to listen. Life can destroy you if you're not ready to notice. Learn what to listen for, and never forget. Life can also thrill you if you listen just right.
Oh. What'd she say?
Thank you very much.
I'll only tell you if you do it just right.
Preach to us, brother. Preach to us.
You said that the theme was beginning anew, so I'm hoping that brand new issues of magazines and brand new books will buy. So yesterday, Scars Publications released cc&d magazine, which had a poem to cover. It also released Down to Dirt, which issue is called Climate Change. That's a very ominous cloud. To get you clouds. That is climate change for you, or something. And so I was going to read a few things from this before I go on to something else. And I decided I'm going to read them in the reverse order because I have more. And these are two that are related to a performance art show. And I won't tell you what that's about. This one is it's secret. This one is called Someone Give Me the Answers. My dictionary is older than my schooling. My encyclopedia is older than I am. I've been looking for answers to what I thought were simple questions, and the people who are supposed to be smart don't know what to say. When I regained consciousness, I was given the same meal 3 times a day. I was physically strapped to my bed. No one helped me, even then.
Well, the family, didn't your family coming up?
I don't know, you got to This one's called Their Crutches. This is earlier in the show, it's called Their Crutches. They should tell you in advance what it's like to go through what you're about to go through. Having an operation, They'll keep you drugged. You'll be unconscious in a hospital bed for longer than you want. But this is what's best for you. That's what they'll tell you. Be tired of being in a hospital. No one will know what to say. You need rest. You need help, even if you're sure you don't need their crutches. It won't be easy. I'm sure that I'll visit. And I'm sure that you'll be fine. I know you'll want to hear that. They're performance art pieces, and now I'm just going to make them in a different thing from in the middle of the book. There are two in this one. This is a 2018 edit of a short poem called Touch. The lust, the craving, the longing, the yearning. Their eyes are fixed in a trance-like gaze. The passion, the obsession, the heat, the fire. Hearts quicken, their breaths become a pant, and they cannot hold back. He touches her. That's all it is in that one. And a little one in the end of this one, which has a little picture in it, which reminds me that this poem that's in here called Explosive Energy, which has a little picture in it, is also in this book, which was just released in the past month and a half, called Pheromemes. Pheromemes is not a word, but if you're attracted to somebody's pheromones, you might be attracted to somebody's memes. So pheromemes seems like a good thing. This is a third in the pheromeme series, possibly the last one. So, but this is a short piece that is in both of these books that is called Explosive Energy. Your words are like another language to me, because each sound, each breath from you is an explosion of energy that accosts me, tickles my senses, and excites me for more. He's going to take a picture, so I'm going to stay here, posed like an idiot. Okay, I'm done with that one. Now I'm going to read a couple from Pheromemes for you, and I have no idea for an order, because I just have some things marked. This one is called Volumes of Philosophical Masterpieces. After I gained my master's in philosophy, I knew that to really understand the masters, I should study them in their original languages. From Aristotle and Plato, I found Greek volumes, Kant and Nietzsche, I found German volumes, and Buddha, I found India's volumes, and Confucius, I found Chinese volumes. I would say the sorting for the ancient Christian and Muslim texts in Aramaic and the ancient Jewish texts in Hebrew or Hindu texts in Sanskrit. I'll master those in my first volumes. So the Chinese volumes stared at me defiantly as I opened books to see pages of beautiful characters I could not comprehend. Right now, India has 23 official languages, which are all as elusive to me as Chinese. Not even thinking about Japanese or Korean and deciding to hold off on anything Latin. I turned to Greek volumes, and as they say, it was all Greek to me. And it was fun at the start to guess how to pronounce some of these words with Roman letters. These letters drawing pictures for me that only the artistically tries to comprehend. I am restrained by how some British fool...
Sandy, your offer is ready at the $5 stand.
Your offer is ready, just want to make sure. Am I restrained by how some British fool interpreted words into English, which no one argues with, to get the real meaning in philosophy? I don't know. Maybe I'll just put these ancient volumes back onto the shelves and decide to learn philosophy by seeing what it truly means to me. That order sense tall, and that order seems tall enough for even the greatest to believe.
Yeah.
Try to fathom trying to learn everything in their original language. What on earth is that?
Well, Lord Prayer in
It's like
Aramaic
you've never seen
is
you
like
have
a
no
song.
time for
It's
that.
very beautiful. They chant it. I don't know.
This is, I suppose this is true. This one is called Just the Right Words. You might think that mathematicians and science geeks aren't creative. But those are the guys who theorize all those crazy ideas. I mean, one of those science dorks had come up with the Big Bang Theory with no evidence to back it up. Right now they're talking that maybe there are multiple universes that can occasionally bounce into each other and cause things like the Big Bang. That's the kind of stuff that's out there now, straight from the minds of some of those mathematicians and science types. So I made a point to read the news today, an article that in lieu of one-sentence summaries and for research proposals, some scientists are submitting a haiku. They call it a saiku. I now hear that since I read a poem for every element of the periodic table, that the journal Science recently published a collection of haiku about the periodic table. I thought I was the only computer science engineer who decided to go the way of the poet, but at least some of those scientists have caught on to what I knew all along, that sometimes a little creativity and just the right words can make science beautiful to anyone.
I got to thinking about, when you said the science nerds, I got to thinking, there's this delightfully horrible YouTube channel called Epic Rap Battles of History, where they take two figures that where two rappers pretend to be figures who have never met and may or may not ever will.
Whoa.
And they had one Stephen Hawking versus Albert Einstein. And one line, Albert Einstein is like, for some reason as a rapper, he's incredibly obnoxious and very rude speaking. And at one point he says, you can't find a better rapper than me for serious. I'm ripping holes in you bigger than the holes in your black hole theory was.
Oh.
And Steven loses it and he says there are 10 million particles in the universe that we could observe. Your mama took the ugly ones and put them into one nerd.
Wow.
Did you know that Stephen Hawking was actually in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation?
Yeah.
The hologram, and he was actually talking with Sir Isaac Newton and Einstein as holographs. And he was supposed to be a holograph with it, which was, for Stephen Hawking, I think this is just the coolest thing, right?
I love that movie. The Playboy, the whole Playboy flirt aspect of it was a bit of a trip, but it was just interesting looking at it like.
Oh, right, yeah.
I did like the movie, though. I didn't dislike it. I found it interesting.
I got to actually do poetry when he was performing at the Cheltenham Festival. And it was a time when he came out and said, I know, I said, you cannot get out of a black hole. But you can. It takes an enormous amount of energy. I thought, good man. Contradict yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I will read one. I don't know if you'd like me to read. I could read three here. So reading one, you can tell me if I should read the last. This one is called Vastness of Just the Right Moon. Some may say that they're in love with our moon. It locks our tides and regulates our weather. This conglomeration of rock was once derived by a collision into Earth Mach 1. This moon is the only interstellar object humankind has walked on. But really, when it comes to love affairs to the moon, minded types like us, we still have to fall in love with Titan, Saturn's moon, that most closely resembles Earth during its origins in the solar system. Titan is the largest moon of Saturn and the only moon known with a dense atmosphere. Titan's climate, which has wind and rain, causes dunes, rivers, lakes, seas, and deltas. Is it starting to sound more and more like Earth?
Yeah.
And it may be one reason why NASA this past day shared the news of NASA's Dragonfly mission to search for life on Saturn's moon Titan. Good thing I saw this news on the same day that Saturn was closest and brightest to Earth, opposite the Sun as seen from Earth, making tonight what they call a full Saturn. Wow, this means that tonight's the night that I have the opportunity, the unique opportunity to see a different moon, one orbiting the rings of one of the most majestic planets, the one moon that shares so much history, that shares so much of a story like our own home. And when you're looking across the vastness of outer space, finding something out there so much like your own planet's story, well, that has to put a twinkle in your eye and it reminds you how easy it is to fall in love. We actually that night went out, drove in the middle of nowhere, and got the telescopes and cameras and stuff. And I'm like, wow, you can look and see. And I saw a Titan. It was the coolest. It was just a little dot, but yeah. But I was like, yay, Skippy. That was the coolest thing.
Did you say yay, Skippy?
Yippee, Skippy.
Okay, you know that Skippy's a bush kangaroo.
Yeah.
He knows.
The phrase, I was on a blackboard in college once, somebody wrote Yippee Skippy, and I thought that was the funniest thing. I say Yippee Skippy, and if I'm exasperated, I say Yippee
When-
Skittles.
Television series.
Muppet
Skippy?
Muppet Babies.
About Skippy.
CBS had a short-lived series
About
on
peanut
a
butter?
Saturday morning cartoon called Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
And baby Miss Piggy, whenever she was happy, she would say Yippee Skippy.
Ah, there you are. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would like me to read or it is your call. Because I have two that are about, after hearing about the Notre Dame wedding. And that was what I was going to share. And then I will find them for you. And
Yeah, nope. I would fix it.
they, although they're working on photography and 3D rendering and very modern stuff to try to recreate it.
They already had that.
Yep, and they had the images from before, yeah. Anyway, both of these poems are poems that start with the letter X. This is called Zeistis to Foundation. The shock comes from the suddenness and the certainty when something loved for years, always a constant, is suddenly destroyed so quickly, so succinctly, so completely. You thought you did everything you could to stop this. You thought the entire world did everything in their power to make sure nothing like this would ever happen, and yet, here we are. You sit in shock from too far away to make a difference, and watch the new mindset of instant recollection to force down your throat the instantaneous news that is killing you to live through. Thousands of lifetimes and stories are lost in one unplanned, unintentional act. Now face the loss that no one expected, the loss that we couldn't even imagine. Everything from the foundation to the Zeistis has collapsed as you wonder what within you has collapsed too. Whether you want to worship, want to admire, or want to remember, it's now gone forever. And your first battle is to cope with it, to let the shock wear away until you can begin to grieve.
You went to Notre Dame, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
That was
And I felt like the village putting photos up to talk about it. Anyway, this one is called Xyristic Flames. Once in France's history, the Catholic Church and the Notre Dame reigned supreme. Catholicism was a state religion, and they collected heavy tithes from all people's incomes without the church paying a dime. So during the French Revolution in the 1790s, revolutionaries looted the Notre Dame, saying that it wasn't even a church at all. And even as they tried to remove the cathedral church from France, the Notre Dame survived. When Adolf Hitler knew defeat was near by the end of 1944, he gave out the order: if it looked like Allies were to recapture Paris, then Germany must destroy every religious and historical monument, including the Notre Dame. But without the manpower or the munitions, German military in Paris could not abide by this telegram telling them to leave all of Paris in complete rubble. So, after falling in love with the Notre Dame, they defied the Führer. Even in recent years, extremist attacks in 2015, 2016, 2017 show shootings, car bombs, even slitting of throats of those celebrating Mass in the Notre Dame. The church survived, but new terrorism based on religion also flourished. I've always loved fire. Light some candles, listen to the crack and pop of burning wood in your fireplace. We've discovered fire countless millennia ago, and we use it for light, heat, energy. We contain this beautiful beast to become our tool. We enjoy campfires and roasting marshmallows, and we keep fire alarms charged to protect us. We find fire fascinating, and we forget to fear the fire catastrophe that can take down a forest of dried wood in a single revered cathedral. Humankind has this love-hate relationship with fire, with the thousands of chemical reactions producing a hypnotic flame. We must remember that it is not the destruction of things that feeds the flame, but the formation of new bonds that reacts with heat and drives its chain reaction, as it did with Xyrestic flames in the 12-plus hour fire of the 850-year-old Notre Dame. It is a love-hate relationship we have with fire because of what it gives and also what it takes away. I thought I'd leave you on a very heavy note.
Thanks.
Thank you. And I hope that elements come up, since I was just talking about elements and chemical reactions.
Yeah.
Talking about weird politics stuff, because I've been writing things every day, I look for events and holidays, and so I've been writing so many that we said, let's make 2 volumes out of it. So the first one's just done for every event of the year, and I'm going to pick some odd holidays for you, and just read it up. And this first one, this seems totally perfect for right now. This is the day that Adolf Hitler signed the Nero Decree. It's called Zeal was Unbridled. Slaving, I risked my life, and in these struggles I had visions the entire fatherland would ultimately embrace. This was your salvation. You begged for it. Your zeal was unbridled. But as time wore on, and you and the nation were too blind to truly fulfill your destiny. You don't understand. I earned the Iron Cross for my unbridled heroism. I fought in the streets and for the right kind of government for my people. And I changed my life so I could be your servant. And now you all betray me so. I have always fought, and that has always been my decree since the beginning, to never surrender. And as I continue to fight, all I see around me now are cowards. You should want to die instead of turning your tail and run. Deserters. You deserted your destiny.
I don't wrote that.
It's from a perspective that was just so weird to do that. That was just so weird. But
usually with persona poems, we usually when we would have writing labs and stuff, we would always challenge each other. I would always challenge someone to write a persona poem from the perspective of someone who's not so popular.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
one of my good friends, Donnie Rose, he did a persona poem from the perspective of George Zimmerman.
Wow.
oh,
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was interesting.
That's one way.
It was interesting.
He was full of himself. Get me in trouble.
well, this is why I need to then read for you something written on Edible Book Day. Don't eat this one. This is called Eat Your Words. With families sick in bed yesterday, I thought about Edible Book Festival that I was home missing out on. With my library of books both made and read, I wondered if paper was literally edible. And then I saw how people celebrated this day not by actually eating books, but by making facsimiles of books, like making pastries where the icing makes food look like an actual book. And I had no intention, all alone, to bake a cake in the fashion of a book to eat, so I just looked for another way to eat my words. I added alphabet soup noodles to my egg drop soup, mixing letters and numbers with strands of egg whites really made for a messy read, but I still had enough leftover yummy word soup to enjoy the day, and maybe tomorrow. I might not have literally made a book, but my intentions in the text in my soup were my deconstructed literary inspiration. and they tell you not to play with your food, but April 1st is a day that I can play with my letters within my food and form the words that describe our lives. And hey, that's a reason to celebrate too.
April the 1st, you're allowed to have practical jokes up to noon. Afterwards, the jokes are new.
Because the time is short, I'm going to do 2 short ones on this, 2 different events, and leave it at that for that, you guys. This one was written for Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Awareness Day, called Xenon and PTSD to Fight That Spiral. Older generations say things seem so stellar in the past, and you may seem saddened when you hear the wistful way they talk. And though they fought their own wars, you turn on your TV to see terrorists fly airplanes into collapsing Twin Towers in New York, or to see riots in the streets and gun shootings on the South Side. When you take your lunch, do you see on TV the Notre Dame spires now up in smoke and realize the bad is burning, but also the good? Your anxiety, moodiness, depression from too many traumas, things that the positivity and your negativity makes it all a self-fulfilling prophecy. I know the world is tough, but the world can be good too. So stop searching to wallow in the impossibly bad. You'll discover the good. Please, take that first step, and then see what you can now do. And my Instagram image that you can see in this picture is called Kept My Eye on You, and it is for National Camera Day. National Camera Day. We'll see what develops, exactly. And this last one is called Kept My Eye on You. I've kept my eye on you. You say I'm obsessed, and you fear that bullet sound, but that's just my shudder.